Hello everyone, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 3 of Star Trek Lesser Halls, an actual play of Star Trek Adventures. My name is ELH the Game Master, and I'm very happy to be back with these lovely individuals. Few quick notes for those of you that are watching this live. Um, the Avatar rules, I got my hands on them yesterday, and I've been going through them and really liking those changes. So, as I mentioned last Monday, we will be devoting part of the stream on Monday to going over the Avatar characters and basically updating them to the full rules. But the other thing I would also say is that Euthenia should be coming back as well next week, knock on wood. I know I said we were going to be weekly, but, scheduling monster, what are you going to do? Don't think I've got anything else to say, so let's just have everyone do introductions and we'll get started. So, Drill, if you want to go first.
Hi, I'm Drill or Jillian. You can find me here on Twitch, and I play the Zahian Ensign Engineer Kila.
Hello, I'm Picardi. I am a ghost. You cannot find me. And you can see me as Enter Thriller, and I have to also go download that the Avatar game because I got the update too, so I want to check it out myself.
Hi, I am Converse for Acting, or C4A, and I play Ensign Gemma Solaris, the Zebolian.
Got it. All right. So,
and I am omnipresent.
Omnipresent, yeah. So, we're going to start today's session with the view of the Phoenix, the repair ship that has been assigned to these three individuals, drifting through a Protostar Nebula. And for those of you that don't know what a Protostar Nebula is, it's basically a stellar nursery. It's where stars are born from gases from supergiants that have exploded, and it's pretty cool, all things considered, but what it means is there's baby stars, there's gravitational anomalies, and everything like that. So lots of color, lots of gas, and just generally a visual effects nightmare. But as we see the Phoenix flying through this nebula, I believe, Solaris, you have the opening log.
Okay. Ensign log, stardate 96637.2. After our separate meetings with the captain, I'm pleased to say that the three of us engineers have elected to stay in our current posting. The Phoenix is investigating a Protostar Nebula where a brief SOS signal was broadcast. The signal didn't have any of the standard identifying marks, so we're not quite sure of its alliance. However, the computer still recognized it as a call of distress. Note to self, add more lines of code to the language file of the computer. The nebula and the forming stars are playing havoc with the sensor, making our search difficult. Keela, Thriller, and myself have dedicated most of our time into clearing up the... sorry, I just got a sense of deja vu. Anyway, we're clearing up the signal as best as we can with our varied specialties. Keela is utilizing her knowledge of starship construction. Thriller seems to be in his element of just sitting knee-deep in wires, and technobabble being his only form of communication at the moment. And I myself am tweaking bits with other spare parts I knew would come in handy someday. And speaking of spare parts, I found this really cool device that I think I can... Oh, it's time to head to the bridge for our temporary shift. Let's see what that's all about. I'll explain about that thing later. Solaris out.
All right. So, as promised, the three of you are in the turbolift, and it arrives, doors open, and you're afforded a glimpse of the Phoenix's bridge. Now, the bridge of the Phoenix is pretty small, all things considered, because the ship itself is small. But if you'll imagine, it's actually kind of designed after a TOS era rather than, say, a modern era, where instead of having those nice, like, sweeping consoles with multiple levels, you've got two levels. You've got a space behind the main chair where the commander or the captain sits, and then in front of the commander or the captain is two consoles that are connected. So you've got maybe about 5 stations on the bridge that you can sit at, including the helm and ops at the front. But really, the only person on the bridge at the moment is Commander Baker. And as you all walk in, he kind of goes, "Well, hello there. I see that you're right on time for your shift. Please take your stations and we can get started." So, for the audience at home, which stations are you all going to?
Keela will be going to the ops/engineering console towards the back of the bridge room.
Okay.
I'll be right next to you on the science console.
Okay.
And I will be, I guess, standing next to Commander Baker.
Well, there's a chair too. It's not only just the chair. There's another chair that you can sit next to him if you wish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to stand, I'm not going to stop you, but you know.
I'll start off standing. Give that strong impression.
Yeah, there you go. Now, of course, as you all take your stations, one of the ancillary doors opens up, and Ensign Cole or Crewman Cole comes out and takes the helm, and she kind of looks at all of you and gives you kind of a thumbs up. But you're all looking at the view screen, all looking at your consoles, and you're just seeing a mess of data coming in from the Protostar Nebula. And Commander Baker kind of turns in his chair a little bit to look up at you, Solaris, and goes, Ensign, what do you make of all this? A mysterious SOS, a Protostar Nebula? Any thoughts as to what this could be?
No, sir. We've been working on that problem of trying to identify what the call is coming from, but no success as of yet.
Hmm. And Synthera, anything new on sensors?
I'm looking at the census. Everything's still the same as before, but I'll do another sweep just to make sure. Can I do a sweep to check?
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get you some momentum. So if you want to roll me a reason science, and if somebody else would mind grabbing the Phoenix is going to be rolling a sensors science, and the difficulty is 0, so free momentum for the successes you get.
Cool. I'll let's see if I can get as much as possible here.
Oh, sorry, what was it for the ship again?
Sensors science for the ship.
Science. Okay, I'll roll for it.
Cool. So I'm just doing a scan, so I can't use my. I don't think I've got any focuses. Yep. All right.
I would say if you have sensor operation, I'd give you a focus, but
no, I just got computers.
Yeah, not going to help you here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I got research, but that's a long term.
Yeah, not quite either.
All right.
Okay, interesting. So you have one success with a complication.
And does the ship use a focus?
The ship always has a focus, yes.
Always, okay. And I'm rolling 1.
Correct. Okay, so...
Oh, shy.
Okay.
Makes sense, though. It's a complicated signal.
yeah. Okay, so that's one success.
It's our first time on the bridge. We don't know.
Yeah. That's one success with 2 complications. So you do get a momentum, but there's 2 complications. So the first thing, Thriller, is when you're looking at the sensor scans, you do have a vague idea of the direction of the SOS signal, but the first complication is going to be that when you try to hone in on it to get a coordinates to feed to the helm officer, the signal shifts. It kind of jumps to a new position, like 30 degrees off of where it was before. And you try again and again, and it just seems to be bouncing around and not staying in place. And the second complication I'll give you in a moment.
It's moving. The signal's moving constantly. I can't. Every time I try to hone in on it, it changes.
When you say it's moving, are we talking like jumping around like a miniature warp jump, or what do you mean exactly, Ensign?
It's jumping around. Like what you said. Sorry, I'm concentrating.
That's all right. Take your time. Of course, this is why I wanted you on the bridge, to give you all experience in such things.
Trying a couple of things. I just can't get this to. I'm just hitting.
Take a deep breath, Ensign, and give me your best guess, whatever that guess may be.
Right. Can I try triangulate, like seeing if there's a pattern in the positions to see if I can sort of triangulate sort of a location to head to?
If you give me the momentum you just spent, I will answer that question.
All right. Is that okay? Sure.
Yeah.
Done.
And yeah, now that you take a deep breath and concentrate and try to triangulate the pattern, there is indeed a pattern. It's not totally random, but it's enough that the computer, once you tell the computer to look, has picked up on a pattern. You're able to now hone in on the signal as it jumps around.
All right, I've triangulated a pattern, and I think I've got a location that we can hone in on. So here you go. Into the console.
Yep. Crewman nods and begins setting in the course, and then at this, Baker turns to Solaris and Keela and goes, "Well, ensigns, what do you all think? Do you think we should head right there, or do you think we should attempt further scans from this area? I know the nebula has been playing havoc on our senses."
I would recommend caution, sir, and perhaps maybe we can go in a little closer. Perhaps that would give us a clear idea of what we're dealing with here, but not too close.
I see. And your thoughts, Keela?
And Keela is obviously quite stiff being on the bridge. She's doesn't like being in higher positions of authority, so she's very nervous. She's like, yeah, I agree.
Well, that was easy. Chuckles to himself. Well then, helmsman, take us in at 1/4 impulse, please. And the ship begins to move forward towards the location that Thriller has indicated. But as you all are moving through space, I would like each of you to tell me what it is you're doing in particular as you are waiting to get to your destination. I'm asking this for reasons that will become apparent later on, but we need to establish what it is you're doing during the transition period. So, Keela, what is it that you're doing?
Well, if Thriller is trying to triangulate where the signal is, I guess Keela is trying to break down the signal that we have received. Trying to, like a ball of yarn, trying to untangle it, trying to lay it flat and solve the puzzle of trying to hear what it's saying.
Gotcha. We'll come back to that in a moment. Thriller, are you going to stay on the triangulation of the signal?
I'll keep triangulating it, but I also want to know why it's moving around. So I'm going to try to see if there's anything I can grab from the scans to see if it's just the signal being weird or there's something actually moving it around.
Gotcha. So that's what you're working on. Solaris, what are you doing?
C4A is internally screaming, and Solaris is, I guess, something similar to Keela. I'll go to a near console and work on our ship, and work on that memo for herself, trying to add more code to try to descramble what we're working with here.
And that's good, because that means I actually can combine you and Keela together on one task. So Keela and Solaris, I'll let you decide who takes the lead here, but it's going to be a control and an engineering, and the ship will assist you with a computer's engineering, and you, of course, can assist one another. And as a reminder, when you assist, you roll the 1 die.
My control is 9.
Mine's 8.
Okay. So overall, I guess. And do I have a focus? Where are my focuses? Starship construction? No, I don't.
Nah, I don't think it's going to help you here.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Well, I think Solaris, don't you have linguistics or languages as one of your focuses?
Actually, that might be.
No, I learned one language in particular, but I have logistics and observation.
Yeah, then I think neither of you has a focus, I think.
Okay.
What was the complication range?
Should just be default. Should just be the 1.
Default, okay.
How do we roll on this new site?
So on your
2
character sheet, you're going to select the 2 that you want to roll. So you're going to select the control and engineering, and then you're going to hit perform task, and it's going to ask you, a box is going to pop up and ask you some questions.
And I'm rolling 1 die because I'm assisting.
Yep.
Okay.
I have to say we're very good at we're very good at certain tasks, but it's just not these tasks.
And then so that's 1 success from the 2 of you so far. Does someone want to grab the ship? Again, the ship is rolling a computers and engineering.
All right. Ship. Because I want to go computers. Ship. Perform task. Using focus.
Yep. Ship always has a
and
focus.
1. Yeah.
See, computer.
All right, so just the one. So, Keela and Solaris, you two working together, you're able to get a little bit more data from the signal, but it's just one word. And the one word is stop. Like S-T-O-P, like a stop sign. But that's all you get. Like, the signal kind of is garbled and says something in an alien language, stop, and then it's more alien language garbled, etc.
Upon getting that, Keela's just gonna yell, "Stop!" Wait, that's what it says. That's the signal says stop.
I can confirm. We're not getting anything else clear, just the word stop. And even though Keela made her jump, Solaris will like keep an even tone on that.
And I think Baker's gonna be like, all right, small word of advice, don't yell stop across the bridge in future, because that's very important that we understand when someone yells stop, it's for reasons that you'll figure it out. Anyway, Thriller, any idea why it's bouncing around yet? And Thriller,
I'm getting into it now.
Thriller, if you want to roll me let's call this an insight and science. And the difficulty on this will be a 1.
Cool. All right. Not reverse engineering, not Starfleet protocol, nothing like that. Probably Starfleet protocol will help you guys, but no. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah.
Hey, oh, you get 3
Hey!
successes. Nice. So you actually get 2 momentum. Very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, to put it in simple terms for you, it's basically that this object, ship, whatever it is that's broadcasting the signal, is on a rotation of a small star that is forming currently. So that's why it's whipping around, is the star is quite literally whipping it around at rapid speeds as it is trying to swirl in and pull in those interstellar gases.
Oh, okay, I understand now. So there's a small star that's forming and the ship is wrapping around at very, very fast speeds. So that's why because it's zipping around so fast, that's why it's changing position very fast to us. So
Oh, this is wonderful insight. Thank you, Ensign. Now turns to Solaris. Solaris, what would be your recommendation here? Should we attempt to match the object's track? Should we attempt to tractor it away from this location? What are your thoughts?
And she's just kind of gonna look at the other two for like any quick.
Keela just looks terrified to be on the bridge. She is no help.
Burwa is engaged in his thing. He's not even bothering about anything around him right now. He's
So
engaged in
getting
his...
no help from the other two. Well, she's, we've identified what it is. We've tried to make contact with the ship, and all we're getting is stop. I
Go with
mean,
your
the
gut.
safe.
What does your gut say?
That we should. Gosh, I'm sorry, sir.
That's quite all right. Take a deep breath. Just remember, there is no right or wrong answer unless you wish to fly us into the middle of the star. That would be the wrong answer.
No, of course not, sir.
No, sorry.
Well, we should continue to observe. We don't want to get close enough to be pulled into the track as well, the orbit as well, but obviously what we're doing now isn't reaching them. Um, could we perhaps send a probe closer to try to get better readings?
An excellent idea. Keela, please fire a Class 7 probe at the object for us.
Silently nod and then like send it off.
So on the view screen, you see the kind of pulsating light of a probe being fired out of the front and disappearing into the cloud of gases. And after a moment, you all are afforded a new picture of what's outside. So there's still the nebula swirling around this new scene. But what you're seeing is a small ball of gas that on the view screen looks to be about the size of a baseball. But if you were to look at sensors, it's about the size of Mercury right now. So it's, it's a baby star. But what you're also seeing is that whipping around this protostar is an object that looks to be a perfect sphere, as in no blemishes, no marks. It is a perfect sphere. And you're also seeing that it's made out of neutronium, which is a very, very dense and almost impossibly dense and rugged material. For you Trekkies out there, also for my players, the Planet Killer was made out of neutronium, if you remember the Planet Killer.
Oh.
And it's also something we see a few times in DS9 and TNG. If something's made out of neutronium, you can't just blow it up. Like, you have a very difficult time scanning through it and things of that nature. But you can at least identify that there's a neutronium object going around the star.
That complicates matters.
Do we suppose it was pulled in as well, or was it formed? I mean, I'm assuming Solaris knows how this material is made, even though I don't.
Sure, I'm happy to explain. So normally the way to get neutronium is from a neutron star.
Okay.
But there can't be a nebula and a neutron star at the same time.
Okay.
So why there's one of such an object here, you don't know.
So it was either here before the nebula or it was brought into the nebula. Is that where the signal's coming from?
It is.
From the star, not the ship?
No, from
I mean,
the neutronium sphere. That's where it's the
Sphere.
signal's
I
coming
thought I had just imagined a ship being out there, and I was just like, okay.
Alright.
So we haven't even been able to contact the ship that's out there?
No, I think that's the confusion is the SOS signal is what is coming from the neutronian object.
But
There's no
there's
ship,
is
there's
no
a
ship.
neutronium.
there's no ship.
No ship, just
only
this
Zork.
object.
There was just an SOS signal.
Oh.
I was like, what do you mean a ship? I don't think there was a ship.
Retract all of that previous, because I missed that.
Oh, I misunderstood it too.
That's all right. I probably could have explained it a little better. But yeah, I think Baker kind of puts a hand to his chin and goes, well, that is interesting. I can't really understand why there's such an object in this nebula, but anyone on the bridge, anyone, open forum, any thoughts?
Could this be dangerous for a new forming system?
I believe I'm not an expert in stellar formation, but I would think that a neutronium object would be somewhat of a problem, yes.
Should we try helping the system grow by removing it, or should we leave it because it's there and it's nothing to do with us?
Oh, that's an excellent question for my number one, turning to Solaris again.
What have I done?
Listen, you're the one that picked the first officer position. I gotta lean on you a little bit.
Listen.
Could have been a helmsman.
She doesn't know how to draw. That's not in her wheelhouse. Golly.
All right, this time I'll actually, because I'm thinking it's a good conversation. I'll talk with you about it. I won't be distracted, so I'll help you.
Okay, well, on one hand, it would be a fascinating discovery to see these two things react with each other. But on the other hand, we know that this is a very powerful substance, and it may not be good to have these two things in proximity to one another.
What does Starfleet Protocol have to say about this?
And if you want to give me I believe this would be probably a reason and command, difficulty of 0, you would have a focus on this. So
I do.
Yeah, you're the best roll for this.
See what you roll. All right, 2 successes, another 2 momentum. So Starfleet Protocol is pretty clear on this. If it's broadcasting an SOS signal, you need to investigate and deal with the SOS signal. And if it just turns out to be some natural phenomena, then you launch a warning buoy so that other ships don't come looking, kind of a thing.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, I relay that. But is this a natural phenomenon? This is the gray area now. Is it like did it?
Well, is the signal a warning buoy itself?
Could we take a sample of this?
Well, it is neutronium, so we would have issues getting through it, but we might be able to... No, I suppose we can't transport it off that damn neutronium. Well, and turning to Keela this time, how's our tractor beam emitters working right now?
She'll check how they're working.
They're working quite well, and this is me also getting you to look at the ship sheet. The ship does have a high-powered tractor beam, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Did I roll that?
You
No, I
did,
did
but
that.
it's good to have in the chat all the same so that everybody can take a look.
I didn't think I did.
I pressed the button.
Ah,
I thought it'd be good to have in the chat.
I was like, I didn't think so. They're working, sir.
Well then, why don't we try nudging this object, whatever it is, out of course, and once it's on its way out of the nebula, we can get a little closer and not risk flying into a star. Sound like a plan, number 1?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Helmsman, take us in. And as you begin to approach the object, we'll be right back. We start today's session with a view of the Phoenix flying through a Protostar Nebula. There's a cacophony and almost an overabundance of swirling gas of multiple colors as baby stars are formed within this nebula. And as the Phoenix continues its course through the nebula, we zoom in, and Solaris, I believe you have the opening log.
Log, stardate 96637.2. After our separate meetings with the captain, I'm pleased to say that the 3 of us engineers have elected to stay in our current posting. If I'm honest with you, I'm glad. While I respect everyone's ability to choose their own path, I'm thankful that some people I've grown close to decided to stay in my life. Not for me, obviously, but whatever. The Phoenix is investigating a Protostar Nebula where a brief SOS signal was broadcast. The signal didn't have any of the standard identifying marks, so we aren't quite sure of its alliance. However, the computer still recognized it as a call of distress. Note to self, add more lines of code to the language file of the computer and set a reminder to call my siblings. The nebula and the forming stars are playing havoc with the sensor, making our search difficult. Keela, Thriller, and myself have dedicated most of our time into clearing up the... sorry, I just got a weird sense of deja vu. It's the weirdest thing. I actually feel like I've reported this before. Maybe I should take a break from reviewing my flashcards. Anyway, we're clearing up the signal as best as we can with our varied specialities. Keela's utilizing her knowledge of starship construction. Thriller seems to be in his element of just sitting knee-deep in wires, technobabble being his only form of communication at the moment. And I myself am tweaking bits with other spare parts that I knew would come in handy one day. And speaking of spare parts, I found this really cool device in the panel behind the comm station. I believe it can... it's time to head to the bridge for our temporary shift. I'll explain about that part later. Solaris out.
So, the three of you are in the turbolift that goes to the bridge, the doors open, and Commander Baker is there waiting for you and says, "Well, hello there. I'm glad that you all could make it. If you would please take your stations." And, again, for sake of argument, Keela, where are you going?
Hila is going to the op/engineering station, like at the back of the room of the bridge.
Okay, Thriller,
I'll be right next to you at the science station.
Solaris,
And Solaris will, as commander now, she'll go stand next to Commander now, Captain Baker.
no, he's always been commander. He's always been commander.
Okay, well, she'll go stand next to Commander Baker.
So, after a few moments, Crewman Cole comes up and takes the helm, and at this, Commander Baker kind of puts a hand to his chin and goes, "All right, so, any new word on that SOS signal? Anything new, Ensign Thriller or Ensign Keela? Anything new?"
I'm gonna try. Could I try to get a position on the thing?
Yeah,
Like,
you certainly
see
may.
where it
It's
is on
going
the
to
thing?
be
Yeah, cool.
Reason Science, and the ship will assist you with a sensor science. Difficulty of 2.
And
And remember, you do have some
No.
momentum if you wish to spend it at the moment.
I don't have any focuses on it, so I saw computers, but no.
Yeah,
Sorry.
computers isn't going to help you here.
Roll.
All right,
Whoa.
hey, there's your 2 you
Oh,
need.
nice.
Someone want to
Yes.
get the ship? See if you get a momentum. Again, it is a sensor science from the ship.
Sensors, science, and this always has a focus. We're rolling 1 die.
Yep. All right, no help from the ship. So, yeah, Thriller, you're able to pinpoint where it's coming from, but then it jumps, it moves, and you move to the new location, and it moves again, and you're basically playing ping pong trying to track the signal. And I think Commander Baker looks back and goes, "Is everything all right back there, Ensign Thriller? You seem to be in distress."
Just can't get the position. Just wait a sec. Deep breath. All right. If I triangulate this position, okay, wait. Can I try triangulating position?
You give me a momentum, again, we can answer that question.
All right, I'll take the momentum it's gained. Cool.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah,
All right.
so you are able to tell that there is a pattern to it moving about, and you are able to now track much more efficiently where this object or this source is.
All right. I've triangulated the system. It's moving around a lot around the area, but with triangulating, I can see a pattern. So I'm getting it. Okay. This is where it's going. I'm sending it to the console now. Boom.
Then Baker nods and turns to Ensign Solaris. "So, Miss Solaris, would you say we should go in full throttle? Should we be cautious? What would your recommendation be?"
I think we should err on the side of caution, sir. As per Starfleet protocol, it is a call for help, so we should investigate, but just in case it could be dangerous for our ship, we shouldn't get too close.
Very
Told you
good.
the protocols were important.
Commander Baker smiles and says, "All right, Helm, take us in at 1/4 impulse." And this time he now turns to Keela and goes, "Keela, how are our sensors, tractor beams? Is everything holding up as far as you can tell?"
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now tell me, I know this is your first time sitting at ops, but how do you find it?
It's a comfy chair.
Well,
She's extremely nervous being on the bridge.
it is the bridge. We do like to splurge a little bit on the comfiness here.
Must be nice.
And I think Baker actually fully turns to you at that and goes, "Are you implying that the chairs on the Phoenix are not great outside the bridge?" Because you're right, they're absolutely horrible. We need to go through and do a complete retrofit and have everything made comfy. I agree. But because you're the one that brought it up, Because you're the one that brought it up, Ensign Keela, I am now officially assigning you to chair duty as soon as this shift is over. So have fun with that.
Put
I'll get
wheels
my
on
butt to
them.
work.
I'm going to pass you some designs for chairs.
Put
And you can
wheels
see
on
they've
them.
already been dated a few months ago.
Wait. Why would we put wheels on them? What if we were attacked and the ship rocked? We'd go flying out of our chairs.
I sent a design
Well,
for a locking
not all the
mechanism.
chairs, but some of the chairs, because they're easier to roll back into position afterward. Obviously, you have a lock on them.
We'll talk about this later because I feel like we're getting a little bit too in the weeds here. And as you all fall back into a little bit of silence as you proceed closer to whatever this signal is, let's again go around the table and ask what people are doing. Keela, what are you doing?
Keela is trying to decipher the signal in a way that, like if you have a ball of yarn and you're trying to pull it apart, so she's kind of meticulously trying to interpret what the signal is saying by slowly eliminating, categorizing whatever she can get from the signal.
All right, we'll come back to that in a moment. Thriller, what are you doing?
I'm still kind of carrying like the signals so we can keep the direction, but I want to see why the object's moving around.
Okay, come back to that in a moment. Solaris, what are you doing?
I'm going to do something similar to Keela and work on our computer bank and take up that reminder to add more lines of code to try to help boost our signal and try to get better understanding of what's being broadcast to us.
All right, so let's handle you and Keela first. It's going to be a control and engineering. The ship will assist you with a computers engineering. The difficulty on this will be a 3. And if you have anything related to linguistics, anything related to language, that would apply as a focus.
My
I
control's
guess,
8.
yeah, mine's a 9.
Oh, okay. I'll do the 1.
I don't have any focus though.
No, me either.
Okay, well, there we go. Ugh.
All right, so you did just get a momentum
man.
from chat, so there you've got that. But yeah,
Ooh.
with no successes on the board, well, let's see what the ship rolls. If someone can get computers and engineering for the ship, because if the ship crits, then there is a way for you guys to proceed here.
What are we using?
Computers and engineering.
And focus.
Yep, ship always has a focus. Yeah, so unfortunately, you could, so Keela, since you're the one that did the main roll, you could opt to spend a determination by tapping a value and re-roll your 2 dice, but you would have to crit on one of them to succeed here.
Oh. Okay, we're trying to figure out what it's saying. Where am I? There are my values. I could use a determination, puzzle agent, it must be solved.
That would definitely apply.
And I will re-roll the 2. So complication range is 3. So I just kind of do a normal roll, or
yeah, you basically redo the roll, and this time, since Chad has been a little bit evil, your complication range is now going to be 3.
Great, thanks, guys.
All right.
Whoa!
So there's a complication. So, trying to figure out how I want to say this. You're not able to figure out what the signal is saying. And because Solaris has entered in new lines of code, you're going to get a partial translation. But it's not very clear what it says. It's one of those things where, like, you're looking at the line of dialogue that the computer has sussed out, but as soon as you read the word, it changes. And you kind of blink and look at it again, and the word changes. And it keeps changing. In fact, it's so rapidly changing that you're unable to see, like, one word. It's changing so fast.
I can't. It's fast. This is. We don't get it.
I'm trying to correct that. Not getting. Sorry.
Should we get closer for a better receiver?
I don't. That she's just kind of. I don't think we as the ship should get closer. Perhaps a probe could be sent?
I do agree. A probe would be a reasonable course of action. Ensign Keela, please fire a level 7 probe. All right. Probe flies out over the view screen. The blinking light disappears into the swirling gases. And then the view screen shifts to the probe's eye view, where you see a baby star that is not actually the size of a baseball, but based on distances, that's kind of the size. And the view screen zooms in to a perfect sphere that is orbiting this protostar very rapidly. And your sensors are returning that it is made out of neutronium, a very dense set of materials that is only found in neutron stars. And for your Trekkies out there, the Planet Killer was made of this, and that's why you couldn't just shoot it down.
That's going to complicate things.
Indeed. If it's made out of neutronium, I don't know that we can just leave it here. But we also can't transport or really mess with it in any way without overloading our tractor beam emitters. Ensign Keela, tractor beam emitters, are they functional?
And she's gonna turn to like check it and then kind of stop for a moment and then like kind of shake it off. Be like, yes, sir, they're working well.
Very good. And then turning to Solaris, well, what would you recommend in this instance?
Well, we do need to determine if it's okay to be in this area. But with these two celestial bodies in the same area, that may not be the case. I don't suppose.
Protocol does say if it's a natural phenomenon, we need to keep it alone, but I don't know. This is sort of the gray area of natural phenomenon.
True.
But there is an SOS signal, so we need to deal with that.
Also true. Is there any way we could get a sample of it?
We would have to get much, much closer and try and get a small sliver of it, yes, but we can do that. Crewman Cole, please move us in at 1/4 impulse, maintain speed, and we'll be right back. We start today's session with a view of a Protostar Nebula, a myriad of different colored gases, lights, and other sort of stellar phenomena as the stellar nursery is in the process of making brand new stars. The Phoenix is flying through this large nebula, and we zoom in to see Ensign Solaris with the opening log.
Ensign log, stardate 96637.2. Does it feel like today is just dragging on and on? I feel like the stardate will never change, After our separate meetings with the captain, I am pleased to say that the three of us engineers have elected to stay in our current posting. If I'm honest with you, I'm glad. While I respect everyone's ability to choose their own path, I'm thankful that some of the people I've grown close to decided to stay in my life. Not for me, obviously, but whatever. TM goes wherever Keela goes, so I know he isn't leaving either. That's a nice thought. The Phoenix is investigating a Protostar Nebula where a brief SOS signal was broadcast. The signal didn't have any of the standard identifying marks, so we aren't quite sure of its alliance. However, the computer still recognized it as a call of distress. Note to self. Add some more lines of code to the language file of the computer, set a reminder to call my siblings, and run diagnostics on the ship's internal clock. Seriously, this deja vu is so intense. Maybe I should drink some more water. The nebula and the forming stars are playing havoc with the sensor, making our search difficult. Keela, Thriller, and myself have dedicated most of our time into clearing up the... Sorry, that sense of deja vu is still going. Where was I? It's the weirdest thing. I feel like I've reported this before.
And if I can interject real quick, you look at your hand, there's the word little hand written on your palm.
Okay.
It's your handwriting.
Yeah. That's weird. That must have been a note to myself. I wrote little hand on my hand, and uh, anyway, I I guess I'm finally losing it. Anyway, we're clearing up the signal as best we can with our varied specialities. Keela is utilizing her knowledge of starship construction while also making use of the anti-grav device I made for her. Thriller seems to be in his element of just sitting knee-deep in wires, Technobubble being his only form of communication at the moment, which is okay for now, but I really need him to guess another letter in our Terran game of Hangman. And I myself am tweaking bits with other spare parts that I knew would come in handy one day. And speaking of spare parts, I found this really cool device that could really be useful. It's time to go to our bridge shift, so more on that later. Solaris out.
We cut to the turbolift where the three of you are on your way to the bridge.
I'm just standing there, and all of a sudden I say Jay, and I talk to this. That I've been thinking for a while, and this is what I came up with. Jay.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's one of them.
Excellent.
Got it. And she takes an old like ballpoint pen and like writes that for a note, because apparently she left her stylus somewhere. I was like, oh yeah. Do y'all know anything about Little Hand?
What? Keela is like stock still, terrified to be going to the bridge.
I don't know. I don't know. I made a note about it, and I don't know what it means, but that's okay. Maybe it'll come to me later.
My hands
Do you
are
have a
normal
little
size.
hand?
I don't think I do. I'd say it's pretty average for a female's
Do I have a little hand? And I hold, and Keela holds her hand up to yours. I have short fingers, but
yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think that's what that means. But maybe it'll come to me later, I'm sure.
does it mean helping hand? A little helping hand?
Whatever the case may be, this is when the doors to the bridge open, and waiting for you on the bridge is Commander Baker, and he turns and says, "Well, hello there. Please take your stations." And Keela, where are you heading?
Keela is heading towards the ops/engineering station towards the back of the room of the bridge. She does approach it hesitantly and not in a scared way, but in a like apprehensively, but not because she's scared to be there. Like she usually like she was in the turbo lift. It's kind of like she's examining everything and then slowly sits down into her seat.
Thriller, where are you headed?
I head straight next to you to the science section. I'll start working on it.
Solaris, where are you headed?
She will go stand next to Commander Baker.
All right. So Commander Baker is going to nod as everyone gets in positions. Crewman Cole comes out and takes the helm. And then he kind of says, Ensign Thriller, any news on the signal? Anything new to report there?
Start having a look. Can I do a roll to see what's happening?
So I think at this point, it's very clear to the audience that you're in a time loop. So we're going to stop doing the same rolls over and over. Yes, you are able to triangulate the signal.
Boom, boom, boom. And my guy has no change whatsoever, by the way. He's not like you two. Like my guy is commenting at different points. Sometimes he'll probably say a little thing, but he's not changed.
Mm-hmm. All right. So again, you find that star or the object is bouncing around. It's being very erratic. It's hard to keep a lid on it, as it were.
I triangulate the signal. Oh, there it is. Boom. Yeah. Yeah, I say, struggling to triangulate the dang thing. There we go. Okay, here it is, setting it to console now. Cool.
Oh, very good. Well, Ensign Solaris, what are your thoughts? Should we go guns ho in, or should we approach with caution?
Sorry, sir. I don't know. I feel like you'd asked that question. But we just got here. I think we should exercise caution.
And Baker turns to look at you a little more fully and goes, "Are you quite all right, Ensign?" And,
Yes, sir. Just a little nervous for the first time on the bridge.
very good then. Helm, take us in 1/4 impulse. And ship begins moving. So I'm assuming Keela and Solaris are going to be doing, once again, trying to translate, and Thriller, you're still going to be doing your why is the signal moving around so much kind of a thing. This time for Keela and Solaris, I'm going to tell you that the difficulty is now a 4. So if you've been paying attention, it has steadily been going up and up and up.
Yeah. And with no focuses on either of our parts.
Well, the good news is you do have 4 momentum at the moment, so you could buy additional die on this roll.
Definitely gonna buy dice.
All right, how many do you want to buy?
Engineering, right? So it's 1 momentum for 1 more, and then 2 for 2 more.
It would be 3 total for 2 more, correct?
3 total for 2 more. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oops.
Okay.
Perform task. Difficulty's 4, you said, right?
Yep.
And oh wait, I gotta roll 1 dice, so I'm rolling 4 dice. Okay. Right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, well, that's 3 successes with a complication. So, Solaris, if you want to roll
Was
your
it meant to
own...
be a complication? Sorry, she put a complication to range to 17 plus. Was that meant to happen?
Oh, good catch. No, so actually that's not a complication. Good catch. And then, Solaris, if you want to do your own control engineering, and then Thriller, if you want to grab the ship's computer and engineering.
Right.
All right, no help from
Again,
Solaris.
not helpful in the slightest.
Let's see if the ship gets you anything. Ship
Excellent.
gets you the fourth one you need.
Yay.
So this time, you actually get a longer string of words. This time you get stop the little hand from, and that's it. So stop the little hand from, and I'll even type it out. That's what you get.
What?
What's this got to do with your hand?
Solaris is going to freeze.
Whose hand?
Her hand.
Someone's
The
hand.
message on the hand.
Did your hand get in there?
Can I do a scan?
Scan of what? Her hand?
No, outside area. I want to scan for chronoton particles.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a reason science, assisted by the ship's sensor science. Difficulty of 2. But you know what? Let's make it difficulty 3, because I can.
I'm stealing a dice then.
Yeah, use that momentum.
You do have a momentum you can spend, yeah.
Hey, I don't have anything I can use. Nope. All right.
All right,
Hey!
well, there's your 3 already. So if someone wants to grab the ship's sensors and science.
Sensors and science. It always has a focus. And it's just 1 dice.
Just the 1. There you go. Very nice. You get another momentum back. So yeah, Thriller, now that you've scanned for chronotons, yeah, there's a lot of them. And I mean a metric F-ton of chronotons in this nebula.
Stop the ship!
All right, so you yelling stop the ship, the helm immediately comes to a stop. There's that kind of slow rock as everything comes to a stop. And Baker turns to you and goes, Ensign, explain.
Chronoton particles, I am getting a large amount around us right now.
Where are they coming from?
Where are they coming from?
If you want to give me that momentum, I can answer the question.
Yes.
They're coming from the object we know out of character to be a neutronium sphere, But in character, you just know they're coming from the object that's broadcasting the signal.
They're coming from the object that's transport the signal, the ship that's down there. It's coming from the ship.
That's interesting. Are you proposing that some damage to whatever this vessel is leaking chronotons into the area?
Is a potential without getting some more information. I cannot tell you any more right now. Sorry.
Turns to Solaris. Well, what do you think? Should we increase speed?
I'm just going to roll untapped potential, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we keep forgetting untapped potential. Go ahead and roll that
no.
before we forget.
Oh, nuts.
All right, I get a threat. Nice.
No. No, we shouldn't. Whoa. Anyway, no, we shouldn't go full speed. I think we need to study this further. Before we send a probe, can we unscramble a specific signature from this call for help? Like, is there, I don't know what I'm trying to ask. Like, we know it's coming from this object, but is the object admitting it itself, or is there something that we haven't picked up around it, or does that make sense?
It does. It does. So
is the signal on it?
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it something on the sphere broadcasting? Yeah, these are good questions. What I would say is, if you want to make a roll for it, I can, or you can, but it will be a difficult roll because of the nebula and the chronotons, etc., etc. And you don't have any momentum, because if you had momentum, I'd let you spend it and get the answer to the questions. Though I suppose you could also just give me a threat instead if you really wanted an answer.
Your call.
Yeah, no pressure.
Your call, first officer.
I'd say do it, but that's just me.
I would also
like to know. I'd like to know, like, if there's an origin or a signature that we can pin down.
Okay.
So yeah, take it.
All right. So by spending threat, you get the answer. And again, I'll explain more if none of these names ring a bell. But you're getting a signal that is similar to the Takan and to the precursors. Now, for those who aren't, super up to date on Trekkie lore, the Takan were basically a ancient species that we see. I think it's like season 1, episode 3 of TNG, where they literally were so powerful in Empire they could move stars around. They could teleport stars from system to system. So the Takan were basically a mega civilization. The precursors were basically the one, I forget the name of the episode, but it's the one where they're going around the galaxy in TNG trying to get, DNA samples, and they kind of get all the DNA samples together, and it creates a message that plays for everybody from the precursors who seeded the galaxy, and basically is why everybody looks like a human, kind of a thing. But to qualify, it's not precursor, it's not Takan, but it still has similar elements to both. So this is something older, same time as those others. You're not sure.
She reports those findings to Commander Baker.
That's very interesting. Keela, Thriller, any thoughts?
It's older at the same time. So something. So it's sending a message from the past. So are we getting so the message is not in our time, but it's coming through the particles and coming from there saying stop. Ooh.
Helm, begin backing us off. Thrusters only for the time being.
Can I try to make a path that doesn't hit the particles, the chronoton particles, if I can?
I would say based on your earlier roll, you can see that trying to figure out the right name for it, but you know how meteorological maps kind of have like contour lines of where the pressure is with air pressure? You kind of have that for the area right now, but for chronoton particles.
Yeah, so I'll make a path with the navigation if I can.
Now, to be clear, do you mean to go forward or to go backwards?
I'm going to go backwards, so make a path backwards. Yes.
That's where the loop ends, unfortunately.
Dang.
We return to the Protostar Nebula. Solaris, you're midway through your fourth log when, at this point, you are just feeling you are either going insane or deja vu is real.
If I may,
Yes.
Keela rings on your door.
And I just don't understand. Oh. Yeah, come on in.
It's time for us to go to the bridge.
Didn't we do that already?
I guess not.
Okay.
I'm not as freaked out as I thought I would be. And
Okay.
anyway, Straz is here. We're just picking you up along the way.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I guess my log got a little lengthy. Do you know anything about Little Hand? I set a reminder and
It
I don't know
now
why
says stop the little hand. So add stop the.
it says stop the little hand on it. And I don't know why I didn't put it on my data pad, but does that mean anything to you?
Do you have a little hand? Do I have a little hand?
I think my hand's pretty average for a Zabolian female.
I mean, I know I have short fingers, but
It wasn't a glove project, was it?
what else has
Anyway.
hands?
I don't know. I think it'll come to me.
We're gonna be late. Get over
Okay,
here.
okay, we're coming. Solaris out.
You emerge onto the bridge. Hello there. You go to your
Listen,
stations.
In the elevator, I say F.
Ah.
No.
What?
It wasn't F.
Oh, dang.
And you did write J on your hand last loop.
I'm adding it.
This is clearly us just torturing C4A being a method actor. That's what we're doing.
Oh, C4A is enjoying the heck out of this.
But yeah, after that brief little change in the letter that is said in the turbo lift, you take your stations. You see the same thing. My question is, how far do we go down that loop again until you guys begin diverting, is the question.
Pretty early on for Keela, because she's not feeling as scared as she thought she would being on the bridge and being in a higher position of authority. She's kind of more just like, the space doesn't feel so scary, as if, because like everything is scary to her at first, but the more she's exposed to it, the more she becomes comfortable. So she's just like, why am I so okay with being here?
I think Maya is like he's oblivious to the time things, but whatever he's been thinking about is what he's thinking about dedicatedly. So he's thinking about chronoton particles for some reason. And he just wants to do something about that. So he probably goes to the side station and starts just doing a scan for chronoton particles because it's the thing on his mind.
All right, go ahead and roll me a reason science. And again, the ship will assist with a sensor science. Difficulty on this is a 3.
All right.
Solaris is definitely feeling like something's not correct. Like why do I keep like this has never been deja vu has never been this strong, and what the heck do these notes mean?
Well, the good news is that with your 3 successes from Thriller,
Heck yeah.
Yeah, before you get in the deep thicket of chronotons, You run your scan of the area, and you see that the local area of this nebula is covered in chronoton particles. And they seem to trail back to this SOS signal, whatever is broadcasting it.
Commander,
Yes.
before we go any further, for some reason I was thought chronoton particles. Chronoton particles. There's something big about chronoton particles, and you know me. I like to.
We've done
explore
this
that stuff.
before. I swear.
Have we?
We've done this before.
You think so too?
Right, yes.
that
Crewman,
can't be
and
it.
as Crewman Cole's coming out onto the bridge, and Commander Baker goes, Crewman Cole, make sure we're at full stop. And she kind of goes, okay, sir. Yeah, reading, all stop. Good. All right, so how many times have we done this?
At least once.
I don't recall anything. Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't?
He's got a one-track mind. I think
Date.
he's.
This day's just dragged on and on.
Now you think about it, I have been thinking about some awesome stuff, and it didn't take that from.
I think there was something about a probe.
Keela would like
something with a
to
probe,
do.
too.
Keela would like to do a search of the computer's logs, like timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when did we first get this signal, and what's the time now, and if there's any discrepancies there.
There
'Cause
is.
It's only been, yeah.
There is, and because you thought to check, I'm actually going to give this to you for free. And because I think it's cool, Solaris, take a momentum for actually writing on your hand.
Yeah.
So, Keela, what I'm going to say is when you check the computer to sync up, local time with galactic time, there is a 16-day difference between your onboard computer and what the galactic standard is.
What?
We've done this 16 times.
At least. We may not have finished full days of standard 24.
Oh, okay. Let's think. Does anyone know what triggers the loop? Was it the probe? Was it something we did?
Well, I mean, would we have thought of a probe every single time?
Well, it is standard procedure.
I would want to exercise caution. What if we didn't do that?
Exercise.
Would you
I'm out.
suggest leaving a warning buoy? But I'm concerned that if we leave this phenomenon alone, it could be an issue.
I
So
mean,
you're saying don't
what if-
exercise caution, go in straight.
yeah.
No, actually. And Baker actually stands up and looks at all three of you. Why don't we put our engineering team to work here? There must be a way we can shield ourselves from the chronotons.
Okay.
Right, I want to do something. I want to find out about this. All right. Can I do a research to see sort of?
Yeah, I was
what
going to say,
use
we're
my
going to
science
handle this. We were going to do an extended task, but since you figured out the loop pretty early, we don't need to do one, but it's still going to be a task. So the three of you can work together on this. You can assist one another. Just, again, qualify who's doing the main role. This is going to be a daring and a engineering. And if you have anything related to temporal mechanics, anything related to jury rigging, anything related to starship construction, anything related to shielding, all of those would apply as focuses here.
Who has the highest daring?
I have an 8.
8.
11.
We know who's rolling.
This is my highest roll, but I don't really have any focuses that will apply to it because I've got research stuff, reverse engineering, Starfleet protocol, transporters, and replicators. Nothing that you just mentioned.
Yeah, nothing on focus-wise that would help you there, unfortunately.
What's better, a focus or a higher roll?
Well, depends if you want a crit or if you want better chance of success.
Which one's which?
Well, to give you a perspective, the difficulty on this will be a 5. So you're going to need
Oh.
5 successes here.
And with my skills here, I can, if it's 15 or under, I will succeed.
Right, but since you don't have a focus, it would be only a 1 would be 2 successes. So
Yeah.
if somebody has a focus, the crit range might be better for you in this instance.
I have
So
jury
focus is for
rigging.
good.
Yeah.
Jury
I
rigging?
have starship construction, so we're kind of equal, Slice and
Mhm.
I, for rolling.
Now
I'll do a support roll.
Okay. The other thing I would say is that Solaris, what it sounds like you might be taking the lead role here. You can spend momentum, but you could also spend your determination to get 2 free successes to start. You just have to tell me a value that applies.
I'm torn between everything in its place because we are clearly in the wrong place, or helping hand because we have a helping hand.
You know what? I
Also,
like
it's
that
an
second one.
SOS signal.
You know what? I like that. I like helping hands. So we're gonna go with that. So that'll start you with 2 free successes to start with. Do you want to buy any additional dice?
It's a 5.
What do I need to do for that?
In this instance, looking at your momentum and your threat, you currently have only 1 momentum, so you would have to give me 1 momentum, 1 threat to roll 3 dice.
Mm.
Let's do
Makes it more interesting.
it.
We never spend threats, so why not?
All right. So you're going to roll 3 dice there, Solaris.
Oh,
and
okay.
we'll add 2 successes to whatever you roll.
And
then
it was
Keela and Thriller, if you guys want to do your roll as well.
Let's
Daring.
not
I can help.
forget to roll
Excellent.
untapped potential if we succeed.
daring and what?
Daring and engineering.
Okay. And I'm rolling 3 dice.
And
Right.
both of you have a focus.
I have a focus.
We do.
Should I be changing the complication range? I haven't touched that at all.
Nah, no, unless I tell you to change it, you can leave it as is.
And using determination value.
Yay.
You are. That might actually auto add it. I haven't checked yet, but you can leave that unchecked if you want. We'll just add the
Okay.
2 successes manually.
Experiment with that later.
All right, that's already 5 successes from Solaris. So Keela, let's see if. All right, that's 6 total.
6.
All right, so that's 7 total
Potential.
successes. You
Tap
guys get-
potential?
Yep.
That's
and
5.
Go ahead and
Is it?
go.
Oh, 6,
So
7,
Solaris, the way you roll a challenge dice on this sheet is perform challenge on your sheet, and you're gonna just put in 1 die. All right, no momentum. All right, so you get a total of 2 momentum, but you do succeed here quite well. So yeah, after very quickly just kind of looking at what past ships have done to navigate chronoton-filled areas, you, I don't want to say get temporal shielding online, but you get a form of defense against the chronotons, a way to prevent yourself from doing this again, maybe. And as you finish, what you got?
I want to try to just concentrate and just think one-mindedly on this task right now, and just try to keep it for the whole, just in case the loop doesn't stop. So I just want to make sure I have
What's
this in
on
my
your
head.
mind?
Got
That
it.
this is the thing on my mind.
Got it. So it's a good thing too, because the moment you all finish, Commander Baker goes, "All right, so let's go ahead and write it mid-sentence." Loop happens again. So Solaris, you're having a minor mental breakdown, maybe a major one, and that's when Keela chimes at your door to let you know that it's time to.
And she just like the door, she kind of like forces it open if you don't tell it to open right away, and she kind of like stumbles into the room. She's like, "We got again, this again."
You're feeling it too.
Yes.
You're feeling it too. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I thought I was losing it. Okay. I tried. Okay.
And
Okay.
she'll come
I
over
walk
and
in.
kind of. Okay.
I walk in. I've got this great idea for chronoton shielding.
Right, we could use that. And Keela rushes over. She's stumbling the whole way because she's going way too fast. So she's tripping over her own feet. And she kind of like grabs you like under the arm. Not like she's going to rip you, but just kind of leading you. And she's like, let's go. And she's like, let's go to the bridge. And then she'll grab Shiraz's arm and like, let's go.
Now, real quick, so that C4A can keep up the ruse. Your hand still has stop the little hand, but now there's the words from turning underneath that. But yeah, you guys get to the bridge, and this time, in the history of Commander Baker, he's never not said hello there. He's actually waiting for you with a frown and says, we did it again. We looped again.
You know it as well? Oh, thank the stars.
Did what? Oh, by the way, Commander, I've got this idea for chronophone shielding.
Good. Get on that immediately.
Thank you.
Keela like rushes to her station and she almost falls off the chair because she's again going way too fast and she's just starting to look up things to do with time.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that relates to time, while also checking the log again to see how many loops there've been. Which
We're now at 34 days.
Oh my gosh. Stop
She just like yells it out of nowhere.
Stop the little hand from turning. Why did I not put it on a data pad?
And Keela wants to look up anything in history, like anything that would relate to time specifically, and hands.
Put the
Right.
little hand on mine. Little hand on mine. Put your little hand in mine.
My character would not know about Earth things, so but my guy is thinking, what are you talking about? Can I just do a quick search on little hand and
What?
see any references?
Put your little hand in mine.
Keela and Thriller working together as Solaris says that. You catch the Groundhog Day reference, yes.
There's a movie, Earth, with dogs from the ground. And there's a clip and she pulls up the movie. I'm assuming this is we're actually getting references to the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And up on her screen, you see that part of the movie when it's showing the days over and over again, and it's that low shot of the clock on his bed, and it's like slowly falling, that slow-mo scene of when it's falling to the next time.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, it has to do with clocks. I know time. And then she's gonna cross-reference hands, and because that it's not an analog clock on the nightstand, so she doesn't exactly know, but basically that's what she's trying to find.
Mm.
Why is a super ancient possible technology talking about a movie from not
Because-
that long in the great scheme of things?
Because the whole purpose was the guy was living in a time loop. So I guess I was reminding myself subconsciously that we're in a time loop.
Well, I
That could have
think
been. Why didn't I just write loop? That would have made so much more sense.
No,
like the movie
minds
Looper.
are enigma. Thriller, do you have that chronoton shielding up yet?
Do I? Or do I have to roll something?
Nah, you can just have it up at this point.
Got it up 5 seconds ago, sir.
Very good. Then I'm trying to think, what have we done so far? Because something we're doing is triggering the loop. We've tried probes,
Normally-
yes? Have we tried probes?
We've tried a
Yes.
probe. Normally, we've tried exercising caution, I would think.
what if we just don't move? We've gone forward, we've gone back. Can we go sideways?
I mean, we're a starship, we can go in any direction, but
But I kind of feel like we should move
Like,
until we I don't know.
like
Plan A, don't move. Step B, figure it out. I'm
Lock.
not sure about step B.
lock orbit with the.
Lock orbit.
I don't
no, we
know.
can't stay here. That's the problem. If we just stay here and wait, all we're doing is letting ourselves remain trapped.
Yeah.
We need to do something. And I think for this, Commander Baker's just going to look between the three of you. Should we try the probe? And if we loop, we try and remember not to send a probe next time?
I don't know how many more loops I can take, respectfully, sir.
To be honest, it's starting to fray at my mind as well.
But we need to get out of this loop.
Then...
Can
Yes,
my guy has
Brother?
been basically locking down on key information and trying to have it memorized. Basically, is his usual
Carry it
patterns. Is there
over to the next
anything?
loop.
Yeah. Is there anything in my mind right now that has just been on my mind that this is one of those things, my subtask that I'm trying to think
Let's make it a roll. Please give me a fitness and a command difficulty of 3. And looking at what momentum you have, you're actually at 3 momentum right now because of chat. So if you want to spend the 3 momentum to have 4 dice to roll, I'd highly recommend it.
I'd say go for it. We need to figure this out.
Could I say it's research, because this is literally just me.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Yeah. All right, that is your 3 successes. Go ahead and roll untap potential to see if you get any momentum back. All right, I get threat. All right. So, yeah, Thriller, you actually remember that it doesn't appear to be the probe that's what's triggering the loop. It's what happens after the probe that's been triggering the loop.
All right. So it's not the probe. The probe is fine from what I'm recalling from my research.
Can we
It's what happens after
the
it.
signal?
Well, we need to see what's broadcasting the signal first. Kilo, fire a probe.
I
don't care what class. Fire a probe.
Do we still have probes?
Yeah, and actually, Keela, when you go to push the button, the computer reports that there are no more probes remaining.
We're out.
How can we be out of probes? There were over 670.
Oh
dear. Okay.
Solaris is gonna sit in the chair at that and just be like,
"How old am I now?"
Well, if we're only 34 days off, only a month older than you should be, or younger. I didn't pay attention in Temporal 101. It's one of my failings. Okay, so we don't have a probe.
Should we take a shuttle?
I could make one.
Yeah, let's make a one with maybe chronoton shielding. Do you think you 3 could manage that?
I think I've made enough chronoton shieldings that I can do it in my sleep. Yes,
we can do it.
Okay.
Do we know? Do we remember if this signal is Starfleet in origin?
I feel like we've answered this. I feel like, Solaris, you did something. You got that answer, but I don't remember what that answer was.
It was old.
Like
old.
Old before
precursor, maybe?
Sir? Yes, sir.
And something about neutronium.
Oh.
The sphere.
Yes.
Right, a neutronium sphere. I remember now. Well, hold on. Well, we don't have anything aboard that could destroy or damage the neutronium sphere, but we do have a high-powered tractor beam.
We haven't been able to get close.
And turns to Thriller, did we ever go full impulse, or did we always approach at lower speeds?
Call.
Unfortunately, that's not relevant information to research. Oh, wait a second. No, it is. Okay, so is it? What is it? Do I know this?
If you spend a momentum, you do remember it, yes.
There is no momentum.
If you give me a threat, you will remember it, yes.
My gosh.
I'm going to give you all the threat today. Okay, give me the threat. Give it.
Right. Yes, you do remember that is the case.
Yes, it's the case. Did we ever use the tractor beam on it?
No, you've never gotten close enough to use the tractor beam.
Never got close enough for the tractor beam. We have gone multiple speeds. Yeah.
All right, all right. Crewman Cole, like literally, she's stepping out the door. Oh, yes, sir. I'm going to need you to punch it towards the following coordinates. Okay, sir. And then Baker sits down in one of the free chairs since Solaris is taking the big chair at the moment.
No, no.
You said it. I gotta hold you to it. You said it. So,
I thought
all
he
right.
was sitting
Well,
already.
Solaris, I believe technically since you're in the big chair, you have to give the order. So,
She's gonna be like, what?
I'll just tell the helmsman to engage.
Engage.
Crewman Cole gives you a thumbs up and a smile, and you guys begin rocketing through the nebula. And if we were to look at the external view of the ship, we would see the shielding sort of fizzling and sparking as the chronotons are reflected or deflected or otherwise dealt with. But now you guys emerge into that area of space where you can see the protostar, you can see the neutronium sphere. And Crewman Cole goes, okay, shielding's down to about 25%. It's dropping very rapidly. What are we doing, sir? And at this, Baker turns to the three of you again and says, all right, we can't destroy the sphere. We can maybe move it. Do any of you have training working with tractor beams before?
I have transporters and replicators.
I don't have anything with tractor beams.
Do you have anything?
I mean,
I only have starship construction, if that's
is it a form of transport?
No, and that's the thing is like if you had force fields, I could give it to you because that's kind of the same thing with the tractor beam.
No.
But yeah, if none of you have the focus, I think Baker's.
I have, if I can make the argument, holo programming does use force fields.
It does. That is a fair argument. It is a fair.
Very
I'll tell
nice.
you what. Thriller. You can make the roll here, but there is going to be an increased complication range.
All right.
All right. So you tell that to Baker, and he goes, all right, we're literally going to be doing a drive-by push of this object out of this star's orbit. And we're going to pray that that fixes things, because if not, well, we're just going to loop again and go more insane at this point.
Okay, what is this roll?
So, Thriller, I'm actually going to look this up because I want it to be the correct roll for this situation. All right. So I know it's going to involve engineering, of course, but I need to make sure that I tell you the right thing because we don't want to loop again. I don't think we want to loop again.
Please be daring.
All right. Klingon rules. All right. I want tractor beam. Wherefore art thou?
Oh, brother.
All right. Here we go. Tractor beam. So the tractor beam is going to be from the engineering position, which is perfectly fine for you to do. You can do that from where you're sitting. Actually, no, it's from the tactical position. Okay. Again, not an issue. So the tractor beam is a control and a security, and the ship will assist you with a structure security, and the base difficulty is a 2. However,
Okay.
what I would tell you is that your high-powered tractor beam reduces that to a 0. But you're pushing a neutronium object.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let you all decide the difficulty, with the hint being the higher difficulty you try to pass, the more likelihood that you're going to actually succeed and not loop again.
Oh, it's whether we use the high tractor beam or not.
Right. If you do not use the... Well, it's a built into your tractor beam. You automatically reduce it by 2. So basically what I'm saying is you choose the difficulty, and if you pass a high enough difficulty, you are able to push this object no issue. And
Oh,
you
so we're
won't loop
literally
again.
choosing a number difficulty. Like when we say
Correct.
3. Okay, I
Correct.
see. I follow.
Yes.
Can I use the determination for setting this up on machine? Like, because I understand machines fit in people, I can use the machines.
I'll give it
help
to you.
me?
Sure.
Okay. Or maybe we can argue for a bit and I can find a solution because I have that as well.
I want to argue. I want to get out of this.
You with a neutronium.
So you're going to start with 2 free successes. What
Okay.
difficulty do you want to shoot for?
Got a 5.
It's
4.
risky.
Or
I mean, okay, so how you're gonna roll 2 dice and you get automatic 2 free successes. That's a potential for 4. And then the ship is also rolling, so that's a potential for 5.
This is not a good roll for me. I have a 10 or lower.
Right, but you do have a focus, which is what
But
matters.
you do have a focus.
That's the focus, yes.
Do you want to say like 4 or 5?
I vote 4.
I think 4 might be a safe.
Safe though.
Are you wanting to risk it for 5?
I got a
Risk it for the
feeling that if
biscuit.
we don't risk it for 5, we might be stuck in the loop.
But if we
4
don't
is still
make
pretty
it,
high.
If
We're
we don't
in the
make it, we're in the loop.
Exactly. I think we should go with 4.
I say 4. I don't want to risk it for the biscuit.
All right, I'll go 4.
4 it'll be. All right, let's go ahead and roll. And then again, the ship is doing a structure security.
I got the ship.
Okay.
All right, hey, there's your 3. Actually, hold on. That is a grand total of 5 successes. So even if you had gone for difficulty 5, you would have made it. But yeah, we see the Phoenix swoop in right up next to this object and begin emitting a powerful blue light that envelops and begin pushing this neutronium sphere out of orbit of this star. And what happens is there's a dilation effect where the nebula almost in a few moments seems to drop away and disappear, like you exit the nebula at great speed. But after you're out of the nebula and you release the tractor beam, everything stops, and Baker kind of looks around and goes, okay, I think this is new. What's the star date? Check the star date.
Yeah, we'll check the start date.
It has been an entire year. And so you know where that year is coming from? I forgot to tell you to increase the complication range, but those are 2 19s, so that was the 2 complications.
Okay.
So that's where the year is coming from.
We lost a whole year.
Oh boy, they're gonna kill me.
Call Starfleet Command. They probably think we've been missing in action for a very long time.
Caleb will do that.
And as you're waiting for a response, okay, I know this is a traumatizing event, but we need to remain calm. We're live. That's what matters. We can learn what happened in the year. I'm sure the captain enjoyed her stay on Ryza. Probably ended up on another ship, but we can come back from this. This isn't a big deal, you know. Starfleet ships transport through time all the time. It's not an issue.
So is it the type of thing that we're a year old? Like, I'm just trying to think of how much we've aged and everything else has aged. So like outside of us, it's been a year.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, it's been
maybe a few days.
A few days. Okay. So we're all a year younger than everything else.
What up? Oh, but the captain's going to be pissed.
Gotta contact home.
Unless anyone has any objections, I think we need to head to station and figure out what to do from here. I'm going to warn you now that the Department of Temporal Investigations is going to come out and debrief everyone, so hope you've been keeping logs.
Gotcha.
And yeah, as what you got real quick? Nothing?
No, sorry. Well, yeah, just concentrate on getting home, communicating at home, because there's something that I had to do this year that, whoops.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, as you set course for home, that's where we're going to end today's session. So yeah, what did you guys think? I know that was way different than what we've done before, but I wanted to get your thoughts on our first real time loop mission.
That was really cool.
Awesome.
That was really enjoyable, and and playing the same thing and then trying to figure out how fast our characters catch on.
Mhm.
And also, bamboozling the audience.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun playing both sides of knowing part of it and then having to figure out part of it.
Mhm. Cool. All right.
I
Well,
like it how
hopefully, yeah. Oh, Trek fan says they enjoyed the story. There you go. There we go. There's the
Yeah.
positive validation we needed.
Yay.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. It was a blast on my side as well. So next week we'll hopefully, well, depending on if C4A has stuff going on or scheduling in general, but whenever we come back, we'll be dealing with what happens during that year because there's a lot that happens in a year.
Oh,
But yeah, this is when do it again. We've looped we're not gonna loop again. We're not gonna loop
We've
again.
looped 34 times. We're not doing it again.
I can't triangulate the position.
Oh my god! All right,
Keela's
so
unraveling the ball of yarn.
oh my god.
Solaris is having a mental breakdown, but trying to keep calm about it.
TM is dressed up as a groundhog to the side, just sitting there.
Sitting there.
Like her entire arms are covered in notes.
Just
Face.
notes. It's literally the script of Groundhog Day. You just are literally writing it out, just the full script. All right,
We're gonna
well,
add
Twitch,
heat of the moment on the other side.
there you go. So Twitch, stick around because we're gonna raid somebody. YouTube, we'll see you later.